Peace and love to my people. Greetings, everybody. I'm coming before y'all at this time. May my people in the world be at peace with yourselves, structured around the energy of love. Um, that's what really matters is love. I want to come before y'all right now with this enlightening transmission to lift up your spirits if you're not in the best of spirits. Believe in yourself. There's always hope. Despite the darkness that's going on in your personal life or even in the world, there's always the bigger picture where there is light to serve you as a guiding light, to be uplifted inside the light where we are supposed to be. Now, we know there are terminologies and sciences within a science or within sciences that are there if we look deep enough to figure out the mysteries of this life. Now we have a master teacher amongst us. By the way, Happy New Year, everybody. May this new year be full of prosperity and happiness for you. Now, back to my point about there is a master teacher amongst us who came to give us supreme wisdom that we may evolve and grow spiritually into the gods that we are connected to the ancient ones in terms of our minds being renewed by our true teachings that's designed to help us have a illuminated mind where our minds become illuminated, full of brilliant knowledge, to where that knowledge will enable us to know how to use the knowledge to make manifest heaven here on earth while we live. Now, mind you, let us reason together. It was certain information that my mind has been exposed to, like dealing with certain books that is made available for me or us to pretty much like perfect our beings through, to bring out the best in us where we manifest traits and characteristics that will show us to be a refined individual. Now, the master teacher took us through a lot of schools of thought so we would learn to want what he really had to give us, which is what he did. But yet, you have certain people or forces or groups that want to discredit the answers to certain questions that met the needs of us as a people to heal us from the psychological confusion, to free us from the chaos, to free us from the misinformation, to free us from the lack of understanding, to free us from the self-hatred, and to free us from the hate that hate produced from other groups who committed acts of injustice toward us in a power structure that has been regulated by racist minds, where these racist minds play games like the crimes against humanity that they perpetrated against was something that happened way back then that didn't have an effect on the 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 the, um, the traumatized minds and DNA of the future people in terms of us today, where we stand as black people, still overcoming the aftermath of the physical chains of slavery, of chattel slavery, and being free from that to face the segregation, the unjust laws of Jim Crow, the Willie Lynch psychological destructive conditioning that broke up the black families and things of this particular nature, to where we have today a lot of our men and women suffer from post-traumatic slave syndrome and what they call a Willie Lynch chip downloaded into their psyche, to where they have viruses of the mind that cause a lot of our people to be what they call socially toxic toward one another, being by dropping the ball on nation building, but pursuing individual desires to pursue after the spell of the dollar bill. Now, mind you, we know we living in a capitalistic society. Yes, we have to get money and things of this particular nature. But in light of the bigger picture, though, as a nation within a nation, what kind of allies do we have to get us out of these poverty conditions for real, with allocated resources from this government to meet the needs of us as a people, to where we would be able to sustain ourselves with respect to us having power, real power, minus the people who, like, for instance, we've been here forever. We know our ancestors connected to us who built this nation up, to where by us being descendants of them, we deserve reparations. Our reparations is due. What is it about economics and certain forces really that make certain forces justifiable dealing with the government granting us our reparations. What is it about the economics that is not being allotted or given to us regarding our just due of having our reparations? But in light of this continuing to lag behind, things are still happening socially in our lives to where we still have to protect ourselves from the unclean things of this world without getting pulled down by these constant forces that seem to like attack us psychically, mentally, to where they want to continuously like have us distracted from the real issues that we really should be standing up to uh, bring to light about correcting the wrongs. Because as far as us having a consistent, repetitious, current, secure lifestyle that is protected through our rights, birthrights, civil rights, human rights, indigenous rights. That is where we should be at in terms of our proper person status and standing that's lawful. Now, man, here it is. We just experienced coming into this new year, 2025, with clean energy, hopes, and aspirations to be prosperous, to experience prosperity and peace and happiness in our pursuit of happiness. And out of nowhere, let's see, out of nowhere, all of a sudden, in the media outlets, you have major stories that's being transmitted throughout the airwaves through the media, right? About the latest terrorist attack that happened in New Orleans and the bombing that just happened the other day in front of one of Donald Trump's establishments, where some ignorant person who was actually a disciple of the evil one blew up a Tesla automobile in front of the establishment. And we know Donald Trump has a positive relationship with Elon Musk, who made the automobile. So that's a connection there where somebody trying to send a message about something that they don't like or they disagree with, to where they committed a sick act like that to make a message, when we know is ways to communicate, to get a message across without violence. And then some other dumb person committed a terrorist act in New Orleans by taking a truck and hitting people in it, to where the police officers responded to that situation. When they seen that individual in the act of doing that unthinkable stuff, they killed him. But the other person in the car, they say at the in front of that Trump building, they say he shot himself in the head and then detonated or ignited the bomb or whatever that was in the back of the automobile, which is which is basically unthinkable acts. you know what I'm saying, to commit acts of violence that's wrong against innocent people. So now, a lot of crazy stuff, you know what I'm saying? It seemed like it's just a domino effect, one after another, already early in the year. But what I'm saying is this: even locally here in Detroit, we've been hearing about crazy, stupid crimes in our city streets where, we are on high alert. It seemed like here, New Jersey, New York, Chicago, California, Texas, Florida, you name it, all over the country right now. There's a lot of things going on that constitute a lot of red flags for public safety, where people want to feel safe. Now, these things is not normal. So, why is it that when a lot of us trying to live righteous and free out here, you have negative elements trying to disrupt our positive livelihood? I like to be happy. I like prosperity. I like things to be normalized and that kind of direction in life. Not to be disrupted or disturbed by the envies and the jealousies of sick, demented minded individuals who plot evil against our positive livelihoods. Now, mind you, the master teacher, Padabab Yanun, is here to set the record straight. Who have been listening? Who is doing their studies? Who is comprehending what time it really is in this alignment time for us to get in tune with what is really right in terms of the right way to live. Now, man, we have been warned by the guide. We have been warned by the reformer, who have a lot of answers to a lot of questions about the mysteries of this life. And a lot of us who have taken into consideration, who caught on to the messages, our minds have been illuminated with information, converted to information to deliver or convey the information, communicate the information with the rest of our people, fellow brothers and sisters, or whoever else have an ear to hear positive words coming out of a lot of our resurrected conscious mouths to have a positive edifying effect on y'all spirits, to broaden y'all knowledge awareness to the teachings as well, for the purpose of harmony amongst us, right? But yet we have people with sick, demented minds, full of darkness and negativity, not the righteous, positive darkness, the darkness of supreme balance, but the darkness of ignorance, which is really a disease that we have the cure to, but due to certain people's tendencies to be riddled with hatred, you know what I'm saying, we get these ill effects in the society. So the nature of this transmission is for us to take into consideration the teachings and transform our minds with, where our behavior will show and prove that we are intelligent people with a brain who are contributors of positive energies through love in our environment where we live at home and abroad. Now, man, I want to go into a few points to make this clear about starting off with the science of healing. A lot of people need to be healed. I've been working on myself to be healed from certain traumas myself, but I'm a better man today. It's a good thing to share your experiences through this medium of communication with others as a testimony that, look, if I can do it, you can do it, in terms of surviving the right way and taking into consideration certain wisdom to be carried into practice to get you through any situation and through any kind of mind tricks that even society is trying to play on the minds of us as the people. Because it seems like certain people not on our side when they should be, but something is wrong. You can feel it in the atmosphere. You can see it through people's character. So, beneath the surface of that, this is dealing with something spiritual, to where once we get off into the spiritual aspects of why things the way that they are, with righteous intentions, as far as us approaching our spirituality from a righteous angle with intentions to be upright, we will see through a lot of the spiritual deceptions. We will see through a lot of deceptions on this physical plane, on this physical level, to where we'll see what's going on spiritually, where we can bypass what's being fed us through these media language tricks, right? Through these tricks to throw us off balance, to where we can end up being food for a particular slaughter of a bigger picture that certain forces ain't talking to us about. But the master teacher uncovered a lot of things and sources for us to take into consideration. It's a matter of us seeking where we can finally connect the dots so we can see what's what that will get us safely through certain plots out here that's designed for us not to rise into our higher consciousness. Now, man, I want to read a few things, right? Now, for instance, right, the proclamation of the redemption by the master teacher coming to us, right? Before I go there, I wanna make a point here. Notice in the scriptures or in the language you can understand the Bible, when the God of the Bible said, when they was building that Tower of Babel, they was like, let us go down and confound they tongues and languages and stuff like that and divide the people through that particular act to confound their tongues and stuff like that. Because when you hear a lot of babble, that's confusion. So for all these years, from the biblical times all the way up into these contemporary days we living in now, there have been certain mysteries left unknown. But a lot of these mysteries have been decoded and made known to the God seeds that got the message, who have been studying the right knowledge that will enable us to have an understanding of, okay, this what's really going on as far as who is on our side and who is not on our side. There is, we do have a righteous connection as a people with star beings from different galaxies and star systems that is here amongst us, where we are to get our lessons to grow into the gods that we supposed to grow into through certain wisdom of the ancient ones. Now, let us reason together. I want to make some points here. In the book of Isaiah, right, chapter 52:1, it states, "Awake, awake, O Zion, clothe yourself with strength, put on your garments of splendor." In other words, us letting our light shine through the illuminating knowledge that we have through right knowledge. O Jerusalem, the holy city, as far as us being a particular people, excuse me, a particular people who have been consecrated through us consecrating ourselves to separate ourselves from the unclean things of this world, right? To where we have clear communication with the Most High in the spirit world, to where we are paying attention to our inner being, which is our light body, our light being, right? To where the uncircumcised and defiled will not enter you again. Now notice, when you cut yourself off from all forms of uncircumcision and defilement. Uncircumcision meaning you haven't been changed through the renewed information to protect your mind from the technology of the devil, so to speak, and to free yourself from the defilement, and you cut yourself off from not being in defilement can't enter into our ciphers, where we have a psychic mental self-defense, a spiritual self-defense against being dragged into negative elements by the dragons that drag on you, pull on your good energies to drain you in a way where it empowers the demonic entities that drain you of your positive energies, positive resources, positive mood, positive mindset. You have to protect yourself from these people out here who are gullible tools of the evil ones. Now, man, despite the unrelenting efforts made by the hell-born agents of Satan to keep you blind, right, to who you really are, a seed have sprouted in the west. I, Dr. Malachi Z. York, am that seed. I am the warner that have been sent to this confused day and time. I have come to open your eyes and raise you from your spiritual and mental darkness. You have been deprived of your birthright for far too long. Now, right now, living in the now, still a lot of us, we are not aware of Panabab Yanun, but we will be. But there are institutions or agencies who actually are trying to cover up the brilliant work of our master teacher to wake us up, right? Knowing to us as the reformer, the master teacher, I have reclaimed, excuse me, I have reclaimed and redeemed you from the slave masters and give you back your rightful heritage that the Most High has provided me with, have allowed me to endure the persecution, slander, and humiliation perpetrated against me or us, because you have negative entities and people who want to gaslight you of your brilliant awakened mind to try to make it seem like you don't have power and authority over yourself and mind, to where they can't run games on you as an individual who is up in knowledge, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? To where you not gullible to the ways of the world to be misused by these abusers who want to take advantage of you because they do not love you. They do not really like you. They smile in your face. And like the song say all the time, they want to take your place. They are backstabbers. I've been through it. I know what I'm talking about. Let's continue to read. It's so much that I want to go through, but I just want to communicate with y'all for a brief moment, just to make a few points, right? This is the evidence to show you that the gods is amongst us. And people got to get in tune and get in alignment with the record being set straight through us who have right knowledge, correct information through Panabab Yanun, the master teacher, man. We have the answers. He have the answers. Through him, we have the answers. And by the way, can you see what this saying? When you get time, you can freeze this video and read that. But there's one point that I want to highlight on this statement here, which is truth. For 400 years, Nubians of the West, this is Egypt of the West, connected with the Egypt of the East. The Egypt of the East has a brilliant history that's connected with us right now, this day, by us being the current Egyptians over here, right? The Egypt of the West, our culture is alive and well. For 400 years, Nubians of the West and throughout the world were in longing of a master teacher, one who could answer all the questions of the world, clearing up the lies and falsehoods. And we know for a fact we've been living amongst a society that taught us all kind of lies and falsehoods in the history books and in other areas of life to like hinder or retard our ability to get ahead in certain areas of people activity, right? Now, master teacher, like he just said, like we was longing for a master teacher, one who could answer all the questions of the world, clearing up the lies and falsehood of our story. One who could provide pure facts and proof his as his tool, right, to back his claims up. Now, someone has raised up amongst us, and his name is Panabab Yanun, Dr. Malachi York, right? No man has been able to match his intelligence. Now, you have brothers out here who is putting out information, they sound intelligent and articulate. But why certain forces act like they don't know who he is? But we know who he is. Somebody that's connected to our DNA. Our beautiful master teacher here. Now, once again, no man has been able to match his intelligence. He has published many books, audio tapes, and videotapes on every subject under and above the sun. He has changed and helped the lives of countless people by raising their intelligence and consciousness with the truth. He has taught us to question everything, and that's what we do. And anything, and that's what we do. Teachings. The meek and dumbfounded, making them wise and strong. See, we have to be wise. We have to be strong. We got to know how to conserve our energies to tap into our light body, to have longevity while we live here, away from the confusion and chaos in our communities, but be a pillar in the community, doing righteous deeds with a good reputation. We got to work on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And stay focused. Listen and learn as he guides you to right